All right, welcome back, guys. We're going to be talking today about a new exercise. We'll be going out with Harry Power again today, and we're going to be covering exercise number 6, which is turns. All right. So when we talk about turns in a helicopter, we talk about 3 different types of turns. So we have a gentle turn, a moderate turn, and a steep turn. All right. So a gentle turn is considered anything between 0 and 15-degree bank angle. A moderate turn is considered anything between 15 and 30-degree bank angle. And then steep turns, we're not going to cover those today, but they're anything greater than 30-degree bank angle. All right, so for normal flying every day, especially when you're carrying passengers, anything 0 to 15 degrees or a gentle turn is what you want to focus on most of your turns looking like. All right, anything, anything greater than 15-degree bank angle is not going to feel very comfortable to your passengers. Potentially even risking having the passengers throwing up in that helicopter. I'm not going to say it's ever happened to me, but anytime you do turns over a spot, showing your passengers how nice that waterfall is, and you're turning at 20, 30-degree bank angles, that's when you're going to start having problems with your passengers not feeling so good. So lots of reasons we want to do gentle turns. The more gentle the turn is, the more controlled you can also be as far as climbing and descending goes in the turn. And the better it's going to feel to your passengers, the more coordinated it's probably going to be as well with pedals. So typical flying every day, 15 degrees kind of is your max that you're going to be using. For more intentional turns, we'll talk about this down the road, but those can be anywhere 15 to 30 degrees. And that would be, to get a turn done for maybe avoiding clouds or terrain or something like that. But yeah, we'll be covering today kind of gentle and medium turns. Hope you enjoy. As always, if you like, give it a thumbs up at the end.
Well, good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
Back with Harry today, and today we are going to be covering exercise number 6. We did our briefing already in the classroom. We talked about what that looks like, but we'll just kind of recap as we're heading up Miracle Valley here. We're going to be covering turns today. So starting with some shallow turns, gentle turns, which we discussed is anywhere from what to what?
So shallow, anything from 0 to 15 degrees.
Perfect. So we look at our attitude indicator here. Each line is 10 degrees. So first line would be 10, second line would be 20. So in between the 10 and 20 would be 15. So that'd be shallow turns.
Charlie Hotel Victor, just over Mission Bridge at 1,000 feet, heading westbound for Evertsford.
And we talked a little bit about why we do shallow turns versus a steep turn. And we kind of decided that it was for any normal conditions where we're just trying to change heading a little bit. There's no need to do any kind of steeper turn than 15 degrees. Then we talked about the medium bank angle would be anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees. 30, perfect. And you can see here that we have a pretty good indication where 30 degrees is. It's the larger line of the 3, so that's kind of our range we use for normal operation, anywhere from 0 to 30. And the medium turns would be used more for larger changes in heading, maybe turn up a valley, decide to fly around a cloud where it's coming a bit close to us, that kind of thing. And then the steep turns, which is anything above 30 degrees, anything up to technically 60 degrees, would be a steep turn, and that would be more for avoidance of maybe another aircraft, avoiding clouds, avoiding birds, changes like large changes because of weather, that kind of thing. Steeper turns up a valley or maybe a closing in valley or something. Yeah. So we'll play with all those today and just see how they feel. Our goal is going to be, for the most part, as we're doing these turns, to maintain nice level attitude. Okay. So what we'll notice as we do the turns, if we keep an eye or glance at least occasionally at our attitude indicator here, is that we can turn but keep the tip of that arrow at the same height above the horizon. And if we turn with that in mind, we'll turn in a level attitude, not climbing or descent. We'll also play with some climbing and descending turns separately, but we want to kind of separate those and say, For the most part, when we're turning, we want to try and maintain a level attitude and a level altitude. The big part of the reason for that is that we're not going to accidentally climb up into clouds as we turn, or descend into terrain maybe as we fly through the mountains. So why don't we start with just do some left and right turns to 15 degrees,
yep.
And just maintain your elevation at 1,000 feet.
To the right, around to the left. I was going to wang it right over to 30.
So 15, that's a really nice attitude. And you can see we're maintaining 1,000 feet. That's fantastic. Go another few seconds here. And let's go ahead and level out. And then you can go ahead and do to the right as well.
So to the right in front and to the left.
We also talked a little bit about how 15 degrees, 13 degrees in that range is going to be what a rate 1 turn is going to look like.
Yeah.
So if we're on instruments or if we get into clouds and we have to do a turn to come back out of those clouds, we really want to do that around 12 to 15 degrees, which is rate 1 turn at the speeds we're flying. So we can go ahead and level out here. On the next turn to the left, what I want you to do is turn at a rate 1 indicated turn,
yep.
Okay, which is going to be the purple line to the white bar here.
Yeah. Clear left.
Clear left.
To the front and right.
Good, so as you turn in, the bar is going to start coming out, and we just want to get it nice and stable at the white line there. If we do that, we'll maintain our elevation, and we'll see that we're turning at about 12 degrees there, which is about what we expect.
River traffic, Tango, correction, Golf, Charlie Hotel, Mission Bridge, 1100 westbound.
I thought I saw potentially a strobe light just on the lake up there. However,
let's level it out. It is possible. Nate went up here for a charter,
yep.
So he could be up here somewhere. So let's call over the power lines.
Yeah.
This is Stave Lake traffic.
Roger.
Stave Lake traffic, this is Cadbury T2 Golf Echo Tango India, crossing the power lines heading north 1,000 feet.
Alright, what I'd like you to do now is we decided to change our mind. We want to go up that valley over there. So
yep.
Let's go ahead and do a 30-degree angle turn.
Well, that's alright again then. Clear right in front and to the left. Now to the right. Quite steep.
Yeah, so just maintain it right at the third line there, 30 degrees. That's good, and we can level it out. And then as we get past this hill here, we'll initiate a left-hand 30-degree turn, and we'll turn and fly up this valley over here. And you can go and enter whenever you're ready.
Roger. Clear left, round to the front, and to the right.
You'll notice there, and I noticed you did it subconsciously, but when you do those steeper turns, you do have to add a bit of power. Otherwise, you will start to sink a bit, right?
Yeah, I realised I was already climbing slightly anyway, so I think I've got the power set a bit too high.
There you go. So let's go ahead and climb up a little bit. Let's go to maybe 1,500.
Clear left, right, and above.
So because we're changing angle there, we start to lose a bit of the angle of attack on the blades that we would have in straight and level flight, and we lose a little bit of the lift that we would normally have. And therefore, we do need to add just a little power if we want to maintain our elevation and the speed in the turn like that. We're going to level out here 1,500. And let's come along the right side of the valley here. And then what I want to do is I want to simulate, no, it's not really a simulation. We're in a valley here that doesn't really have a clear way out with clouds. So I want to initiate a steep turn, come around and head back out the way we came in. Okay. So we'll go to about 45-degree bank angle. 40 to 45 degrees.
Roger, clear left in front, to the right.
And that's going to be that arrow there.
A bit more.
Yep.
Can't even more than that.
And we'll level out at 1,500 again.
Yeah, of course. Let it fall there, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of a descent there. So let's come across the left side of the valley here. And then what I want to do is I want to do another 180 steep turn just like that, and we'll head back out the other way. One to the right.
Got my numbers all off here. 100 feet too high, 10 knots too slow. Clear around to the right, in front, and to the left.
The nose up a little bit so we don't dive. A little bit more nose up. Standing there.
Ooh.
Excellent. And we're going to level out there and power back down a bit. Cool. So on that same track, we talked about doing shallow turns for the sake of when we're doing instrument flying, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you this wonderful set of safety glasses that are
Thank you.
so great.
You have control?
I have controls.
I've heard about these.
They're fantastic for the sun. Keep the sun off your eyes.
There we go. Bloody hell.
The goal obviously is to try and eliminate the horizon from your vision and allow you to concentrate solely on your instrument panel. Of course, you can cheat and look up as well, but that doesn't kind of defeat the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So the point of the exercise is to get used to focusing on your attitude as the main objective, and then from there to glance outwards at your airspeed, your altitude, and your heading in order to maintain a given heading, airspeed, and altitude, and then as well do rate 1 turns. Okay?
Roger.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you the controls here now.
I have control.
You have control. I have your traffic and your radio. So I got my eyes out.
My eyes in, evidently.
All right, so when we talk about instrument flying, we want to kind of separate in our minds airspeed and altitude and which controls affect which. Of course, your cyclic and your collective will interact and affect both altitude and airspeed, but we want to separate them for the sake of instruments to cyclic being our airspeed instrument or control, and collective being our, backwards. Cyclic is our airspeed control, and our collective is our altitude control. All right. So if we want to speed up to 90 knots, we need to push forward on the cyclic to speed it up.
There we go.
And then if we want to climb, we need to raise collective. All right, so let's plan to fly 80 knots and 1,000 feet for now.
80 knots, 1,000 feet. Roger.
So airspeed is good, so just maintain that with your cyclic. Altitude's a little bit high, so we'll just descend slightly with collective. Not too aggressively though, otherwise we'll shoot right past our altitude.
90 knots as well.
As I said, they will affect each other, so we always try and do small corrections. And as you're fighting with those two, I want you to try and maintain a heading of 160 on the directional gyro. Altitude a little bit low, so we'll bump that collective up a little bit. Airspeed a little bit high, so we'll bring the cycling back just a little bit. Just small incremental movements.
Ooh.
Good. And then if it starts to feel off with our trim, you can see there's a trim indicator there or over here.
Oh, 160, there mate, coming left.
Yeah, there again. Pedals will affect your heading, of course. So just be aware that when you make a small pedal adjustment, you also make heading adjustment accordingly.
Activate traffic, helicopter uniform correction, Echo Tango India is 1,000 feet, just 2 miles north of Patrick Lake, touchdown.
Supposed to be 1,000 feet.
Yeah, bloody hell. Nails.
So traffic system 152 Golf Echo Foster over top of Alberta crossing 2,200 minus 2,500.
The key is to keep your eyes always come back to here as a center point. Make sure we're level. Then glance out, back to the center, glance out, back to the center, glance out, back to the center, and then glance back out, fix it, small correction, back to the center. Don't wait for the correction to be made.
Yeah.
Always just make a correction in the direction you want to. Small correction, back to center. Small correction, collective up, back to center. Here we're level. Back to here. Just a tiny move to the right. Back to here. Good. You're doing that. Back to here. Your airspeed's a little bit slow now, so cycling a little bit forward. Back to the center. Altitude's coming up now, so that's good. Back to center. Over to there. The correction is almost where we want it. Back to center. If you keep that scan going about that speed, you'll never be more than like 5 knots out. Never more than like 50. Correction on the collective there. 50 feet out, and then 5 or 10 degrees at most. You'll always be back around to it within 5 to 10 seconds.